Last week I made a video explaining how to complete the grass is always greener challenge for totems, and since it's a new week, we have a new challenge. So in today's video, I wanted to explain how to beat the Devious Thievery challenge easily. With that being said, let's get to it. To start, let's discuss what the challenge is. For the challenge, you must swap the aura within about 3 to 5 seconds after you pick up the brand stealer. This challenge can be a difficult one if your team isn't prepared, but as long as your team discusses how you'll go about doing this, it'll be easy. Let's now discuss the strategy for this challenge. For the strategy, it is important to understand that you will be facing both anti-barrier and overload champions, so you'll need to be well suited for this. To start, have your players run Arbalest or Izanagi's Burden, as both can deal with the anti-barrier knights that will spawn before the glyph raiding sequences. Next up, I'd recommend having 2 Thundercrash Titans with Cures of the Falling Star to quickly burst down the knights that will drop the brand stealer. I'd also recommend this since you'll have access to Overload Arc Grenades, meaning you can stun the Overload Hobgoblins that will spawn when the taken enemies spawn during the back half of the fight. I'd also recommend Warlock for obvious reasons. While this next suggestion is completely optional, it is most definitely worth considering, but having your knight players running an eager edge sword to get to the aura faster will help your team significantly and will give you a very small amount of wiggle room. But you can also just go with linear fusion rifles as your heavy for boss DPS. Another helpful hint is that if your team could have 1 or 2 players run the Aeon Gauntlets to provide heavy for everyone, so that all players will have heavy throughout the encounter. Now that we've discussed loadouts, let's quickly get to the strategy. For the strategy, it's worth noting that you will have a very short amount of time to get from point A, which is the brand stealer, to point B, which is where the aura is. The best piece of advice for your team would be to kill the knight, wait to grab the relic, and when your player has about 5 seconds left on the aura's timer, grab the relic and run to them and then steal the aura. If for whatever reason your knight player is struggling to get to the aura in time, the aura player can also meet the knight player halfway, as long as you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of damage. But just do whatever makes your team feel comfortable. If you want to help the knight player out even more, you can consider slightly changing your DPS locations for an easier time to getting to the aura. For example, my team continued to use our damage locations that I highlighted in my King's Fall guide for this encounter, but for the left side, we chose the damage on the platform below the left platform where the plate resides. This is so that your knight player can have an easier time getting from point A to point B. While your team doesn't have to do all of that, consider that taking some of the things I suggested here will make this challenge 100 times easier. That wraps up this short guide for the Devious Thievery challenge. If you found this guide helpful, consider dropping a like and subscribing for more Destiny content uploaded every week. At the time that this guide goes live, I will be live but not on Twitch. To spare you the details, I've chosen to experiment with streaming on YouTube, so it'd mean a lot if you'd consider clicking on my channel name and tuning into the live stream, even if it's only for a few minutes. If you're curious as to why I've made this choice, head over to my Twitter and check out the pinned tweet for more information. Linked in the description below will also be my other links, so check them out over there. Anyway, I'm SniperKH, and I'm out. Good luck with gaming.